Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Sue Ellis-Saller, and for those of you who don't know me yet, I am the moderator and the person who runs the Spiritual Business Basics group and the Spiritual Business Spotlight podcast and group and page as well. And I wanted to talk to you all a little bit today about feeding the beast before you feed yourself, and kind of how you can implement a content creation plan that actually works for you, because I know a lot of us get overwhelmed by just the amount of content that we feel we need to be creating and publishing and making images for and sharing even on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And so, sorry, that's a nervous habit. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about one of the reasons I think it's really important for you to get in the habit of creating content for your website or your blog first before you create it for your social media pages. And that's simply so that you are running that audience traffic back to your website. So it wants to originate there and originate on your website and be shared out from your website rather than just being put out into social media without being even put on your website, because ultimately you want to attract people back to your website and you want them to continually come back to your website. And you know, a lot of people right now are saying build everything on Facebook, but then we're finding a lot of times that people are actually losing their content that they're putting on Facebook, or they're being put in Facebook jail for a couple of days, or, you know, they're, hi, I don't know who's here, so I'll just say hi to you. So I really think it's important to think about putting the content onto your website so that if something happens or everybody ends up migrating away from Facebook and onto a different social media platform, that you still have a library worth of content on a place that you own and control, rather than having everything kind of willy-nilly here and there or only on Facebook. And you know, because sometimes they change the rules and sometimes they come through and make changes to the way that they do things or what they have allowed to transpire up until that point. You know, at one point in time, they went through and deleted a whole bunch of people who had been using like a trade name or, you know, a pen name or whatever on Facebook. And so that really upset the community, because a lot of people who had built their businesses on Facebook lost everything. They lost all their contacts, they lost all their content. And even I have created videos for Facebook and can't find them later on because they get lost in the shuffle. So I think it's really important then for the longevity of your content that you're creating to put it onto your website first. Second of all, there's a bird in my tree and I don't know, I just want to see it. No, sorry. I am easily distracted. And so second of all, what was I going to say? Second of all, make sure that you're creating content that is multimedia. So video right now is like the number one thing that everybody's like directing to and using, and it's got a higher weight with the search engines as well. So if you're creating a video, like you can create a video like this on your Facebook and then you can download it and upload it onto your website, and it takes about, just depending on your internet connection and your computer, it takes a little while. You can even go through and edit it and take out little clips and the most useful information, because what you want to do really too is cherry pick your own stuff, so that when you make a video or something like that, you take out the most vital, pertinent, useful information, condense it for your audience, because we all know that nobody has the attention span anymore to watch, you know, an hour-long video. I do that every once in a while, but honestly, what I want right now is chunks of information. and share that most valuable information. And then from cherry picking your own work and your own content, then you get your quotes, and your quotes can go then into your images that feed back into that marketing plan and direct people over to your information. And then really be in groups. And I'm going to say this in a way because I don't like when people just go into groups with the intent of selling to people in that group. I think it's just like, it's not something that I recommend. It's not something I allow in this group, because a lot of people, create these posts that are like backhanded, underhanded, supposed to be not marketing, but they actually are marketing. So go into groups and actually pay attention to what people are talking about, what they're asking about, what they're asking for, what their biggest questions are. And then take that information. You don't have to say, well, I'm the expert and I can tell you this and that and the other thing. What you can do is you can create your own information for your own website that's based on what they're asking about, what they're saying. Post it on there, share it with your audience, and then if they're looking for the keywords, if they're doing a keyword search, or if they're on YouTube looking for this information, then your video about this is going to automatically be presented to them as a next watch in there. And really, I know a lot of us spiritual people kind of hiss and cross our fingers at strategy and talking about strategy, but I think it's really important that you set out, think about your business as a business. Think about working within, Google search terms, creating really valuable content that your people are going to love and that they're going to share with other people. And that's an art form in and of itself. So that's something that you're going to try and practice and work on and get really good at. So I think that's it for today. I'll probably come back with more tips and tricks for you, but I think the biggest takeaway from this is to really kind of start thinking about your business in terms of how you can create content that's going to actually feed the outcome that you're looking for, instead of just feeding a continuous, that was another thing, a continuous churn or cycle of content. Two more things that are really very important. Number one, you can reuse content that you make. If you think about any commercials, any big brands, anything, they are constantly repeating the same commercials, the same imagery, the same content. So there's no reason that you can't cycle through content that you create, or visuals that you create, or videos that you can create, or that you create, and share them often. As we all know, the algorithm on Facebook, or if you didn't know this, the algorithm on Facebook limits your reach to about 7% of your audience in a natural environment. So that means out of every 100 people who are in your group or on your page or watching your Facebook or Instagram, because Instagram is owned by Facebook and they've implemented the algorithm, but that means only 7 people out of every 100 people that you have as your audience member is going to naturally see your content. And so there's no reason then that you shouldn't share and reshare the same videos and content, especially if it's something that's getting a lot of likes, a lot of thumbs up, a lot of comments, or that's a strict ad thing, like buy this, purchase this session with me for X amount of dollars. Here are the features. So that's something that you can really work into your advertising campaign so that you're not feeling like you always have to churn out a bunch of content. And number 2, really, we were talking about this the other day, batching content. Batching content is so lovely and wonderful. The other day I went through and made like 30 images for posts. And then, that took me about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, or whatever, when you're using Canva. That's why it's a really good thing to know what your brand colors are, to know what different elements of your brand that you like to bring forward, because then you can just pop things in there and make things on the fly. And don't forget to make the posts that are going to be like sharing, 7 ways of working with the angels in your business or whatever, or the most interesting things I've learned while tuning in as a psychic medium, or how I unlocked my psychic medium skills. Really quick to consume and digest content, because that's what people are looking for right now. TikTok, with the implementation of TikTok, those are like 15 seconds or 60-second max videos that people are just scrolling through continuously, constantly. And for us sensitive people, I think it's really important to kind of jump into social media, get everything scheduled out, and then jump out, so that we're not ending up, scrolling endlessly, because they make these things kind of addictive, and they actually do the science, and they get behavioral cognitive specialists in to look over the layouts of these websites and see what you're doing, so that you'll actually spend more time on social media. And so if you're sensitive, if you're prone to distraction like me, I'm a total shiny object squirrel, oh, there's a bird in my tree. Oh my gosh, I gotta see what that is and what kind it is. And then, oh, I gotta look it up. And then I'm like, oh, I'm actually talking on a video right now. So total shiny object syndrome here. Totally, ramble, get lost on a thing. So I just proved that to you guys myself. So basically put, it is a lot easier for us as spiritual entrepreneurs and as sensitive people to get these structures in place, to start thinking about our businesses from that perspective, and then work on it from there, because you're going to get a lot more traction from doing that than from working from a place of distraction, working from a place of constantly checking our phones, or seeing these the notifications pop up or whatever. When you're working on something, like the other day when I made all of those images for my Instagram account, I did not look at my social media. I did not look at my phone. I did not, go off of Canva where I was working, because I knew I had a task to do. I wanted to get it done, and I wanted to be done with it. So, minimize your distractions and make sure you are set on what you want to do. I want to create X amount of images. And then what I did was went into Tailwind and posted, transferred all of those images that I created, posted them into my Tailwind queue. And then the next day I sat down and I created all of the captions for everything. And that too gets you in this place of, using the mood that you're in, using the creativity track that you're on, whether you're working to create images, or you're in the mood to write, or you're in the mood to make a video. Use those urges or those moods that you're in to create your content, and then create a bunch of content in that place, and then get some easy to use software so that you can splice up your videos and just take those most juicy pieces of it and share those, share those on your Instagram, share those on TikTok, share those on these places, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, because those little super condensed, super valuable pieces of information are really going to help your audience. They're going to be reusable. They're going to, be the most valuable for the least amount of time put into it. And that is going to help you to grow your brand, grow your audience, get people interested in you, and bring them back to your website. And of course, those super condensed chunks can go onto your website, then you set out your keywords from there into like a short little blurb or whatever. If you want to write 2,500 words, you can. But that is going to then be housed on your website so that it's away from Facebook, and then you're going to be able to use it for the best of your, for the most value for you as well. So please let me know if you have any questions, comments, if you liked the video, if you didn't like the video, if you know what kind of bird I was looking at. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a bird even, it's a chunk of bark. But see, I get distracted. I'm just like you. So, like I said, questions, comments, your own experiences with doing this, I would love to hear from you. So put a comment below. Let me hear what you have to say. Talk to you soon. Bye.